Some say the biggest enemy of the promise is the devil. Others blame circumstances, the past, or even the people around them. But what if I told you that most of the time, it's emotion that sabotages everything? Sounds harsh, right? But it's actually freeing. Because once you understand that, the key changes hands, and you realize you have more power than you thought. But here's the warning. As long as your heart is calling the shots, the promise will stay stuck. That may sound counterintuitive to a lot of spiritual people. We're taught to believe, pray, and wait. But faith without emotional maturity can't sustain any promise. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. Heaven keeps pouring, but the ground stays dry. And let me tell you, what you'll learn today isn't what most videos talk about. Because here, we won't sugarcoat unstable emotions. The reward is real, but it requires something few are willing to face. And that's exactly what you're about to discover. It's funny how most people worry about physical protection, door alarms, life insurance, surveillance cameras, but walk around with their soul wide open. Those who don't learn to master their reactions live at the mercy of circumstances and others. One harsh comment ruins the day. One critique becomes a crisis. And worse, when emotion takes the wheel, discernment is the first to bail. Have you ever seen someone make a great decision while angry or panicking? Exactly. In real life, mastering your spirit isn't about becoming a robot without emotions. It's about being aware of what's driving you at that moment. Should you reply to that email now, or after cooling off? Will you argue in traffic, or just move on in peace? Without self-control, everything inside turns into no man's land. And without walls, any attack gets in, even the subtle ones disguised as just an opinion. Now think with me. If you knew an enemy was coming, wouldn't you strengthen your defense? Emotional chaos is a spiritual breach. Protecting your soul begins with a surprisingly simple yet powerful decision. Rule over yourself. It's not about being flawless. It's about being aware. And that's exactly where many fall, not realizing today's messy emotions often have deeper roots. Most people don't realize that the emotions messing with them today are often rooted in unresolved moments across their personal timeline. The past weighs like lead, bringing guilt, regret, and unexplained sadness. The present, full of pressure and uncertainty, triggers fear, not of what has happened, but of what could. And the future? Oh, it's anxiety's playground. Hasn't arrived yet, but already controls your mood like it owns the place. That's why some people live emotionally out of sync. They're stuck in what was, restless in the now, and overwhelmed by what might be. The secret lies in identifying which part of your timeline is driving your emotions. If it's the past, the antidote is forgiveness, sometimes of others, sometimes of yourself. If it's the future, what's probably missing is trust, not just in outcomes, but in something greater than what you can calculate or predict. Emotional healing starts when you face the root of the pain and act wisely. It's not about repeating affirmations in the mirror and pushing through on autopilot. Want a practical exercise? Ask yourself, which time zone do you live in the most, past, present, or future? That one insight could unlock everything. And interestingly enough, it's right there that we begin to uncover why certain promises seem so far out of reach. Sometimes the real battle isn't out there. It's inside. The heart says, this will never work, but the promise says, it's already done. And in that silent clash, many people walk away from what was already theirs. That job, that relationship, that calling. Emotion hijack the outcome. When anger leads, words wound. When fear dominates, action stalls. And the worst part? Most don't even realize that emotion was a thief behind the delay. Some say losing control is just how I am, but that small reaction can cost you years. Think about it. How many divine opportunities were postponed because you let emotion take the wheel? It's like heaven's calling, go now, and your feelings are whispering, maybe later. There's tension between knowing the promise and feeling unprepared. It's like your spiritual GPS showing the route, but the driver refusing to move because they're not in the mood. And hey, if you've ever wondered why deeply spiritual people full of faith still struggle to prosper, you're not alone. There's a reason behind it that almost no one talks about. but you'll find out by the end of this video. I'm also dropping a free ebook in the top comment titled, Why Spiritual People Don't Prosper. Trust me, once you uncover the hidden reason behind it, you'll never blame the outside world the same way again. One of the biggest signs of maturity is when someone stops reacting based on how they feel and starts acting based on what they've decided. Because here's the truth, not every feeling should be trusted. Some days, your emotions drag you into places you never planned to go, like anger that becomes revenge or sadness that becomes isolation. But when the Spirit's in charge, even provocation becomes a character test. And whoever passes that test never walks away the same. Controlling emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means using them wisely. A clear example? When someone hurts you and you could strike back, but you choose silence. That's not weakness. That's spiritual strength. It's like saying, I won't be defined by what was done to me, but by who I've decided to become. The world needs more people who pause before they blow up. And those who live like that reap different fruit. Peace, patience, self-control. Rare but powerful. Living led by the Spirit is like having a compass that points upward. Even when everything around you is pulling down, it changes how you relate, how you work, how you handle hard choices. Because when the Spirit leads, the chaos inside no longer gets to steer. But let me tell you, to live at that level, there's something crucial most people overlook, and that's exactly where the next truth will hit you right between the eyes. Some people pray, read, and even believe, but don't surrender. They want relief, but not leadership. They ask God to fix the problem, but don't want Him telling them what to do with their heart. But real transformation doesn't come from comfort. It comes from surrender. It's like asking for healing, but still choosing the poison. Change begins when you realize God doesn't just want to visit your pain. He wants to take the lead in every part of your life. Giving every area over to Him isn't about losing control. It's about trusting the only one who knows exactly where you'll flourish. That includes your money, your relationships, your decisions, and even how you deal with emotions. You can't ask for peace while choosing chaos. And you can't expect spiritual, emotional, or financial growth while holding on to what's quietly sabotaging it all. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's fear. But something always has to get off the throne for God to step in. What really holds people back isn't the size of the battle. It's their resistance to surrendering the process. Don't be fooled. Partial surrender brings momentary relief, but total surrender changes your entire story. And if this topic is already stirring something inside you, get ready, because the next truth uncovers a hidden root behind the silent suffering so many carry without even knowing why. These days, talking about anxiety and depression feels almost normal, but few are willing to dig deeper than the symptoms. What often looks like mental exhaustion is actually a soul at war. The mind can't rest, the body breaks down, and emotions spiral, all because the spirit has been neglected. And here's the key few talk about. Not every pain needs a pill. Some wounds only heal with divine intervention. Of course, medical help is valid and sometimes necessary, but ignoring the fact that we are body, soul, and spirit is only treating a third of the issue. Sometimes what's missing isn't medication, it's direction. And that direction comes from within and from above. It's that moment when someone kneels without knowing what to say and still finds peace. You can't learn it in a seminar or buy it at the drugstore. It's an encounter, a spiritual touch. True healing is holistic. You could be fine financially and emotionally, but if you're spiritually empty, it's like fixing the house while the foundation is crumbling. And here's the wild part. Some healing only happens in silence. When the world gets quiet enough, you finally hear what God's been trying to say. From here on, the tone of the journey shifts, because it's time to understand a real difference between acting on impulse or living led by something far greater. There's a massive difference between feeling and being led. Everyone feels anger, jealousy, sadness, pride. It's part of being human. The problem is when those emotions stop being visitors and become drivers. When someone acts on impulse, speaks without thinking, or explodes without restraint, chances are the spirit isn't the one behind the wheel. And the result is always the same: regret, broken connections, and delayed promises due to rash decisions. Fruits of the spirit don't appear overnight. They're cultivated. Love, peace, gentleness, self-control, these grow with intentionality. No one wakes up suddenly patient. It's in the friction of daily life, the conflict with others, the letdowns and stress, where these fruits are tested and matured. Think of it as a spiritual gym. The more you train, the stronger you become. And the opposite is true. The less you exercise them, the easier it is for flesh to take over. True faith isn't measured by how loud someone shouts, how many verses they post, or how much they feel, but by how they respond when pushed to their edge. That's where the Spirit truly shines, when impulse says go, but peace says wait, when the world says clap back, and heaven whispers, be still. The flesh wants urgency. The Spirit works in process. And in the next insight, you'll see how this maturity shifts everything when life's leadership changes hands. Life shifts when leadership shifts. As long as emotions reign, the promise stays locked up. But when God takes the throne of your heart, even the impossible starts to make sense. What once felt like internal chaos becomes construction. Pain turns into purpose. It's not magic, it's transformation. And that shift starts with a decision that doesn't depend on others, your circumstances, or your past. Just you. You can't keep asking for blessings while walking outside of purpose. It's like expecting grapes from a thorn bush. The promise still stands, but it won't force itself into your life. You're the one who opens the door with actions that reflect spiritual maturity. And that doesn't happen in a hype service or a worship song. It happens in the daily grind. When you hold your tongue, even when you're right. When you pray without feeling it. When you yield, even while pride screams. The good news? There's still time. There's always time. And if you made it this far, chances of something big is waiting for you. But it won't come if emotions keep steering the wheel. From here on out, the next steps won't just be emotional. They'll be deeply spiritual. And in the coming content, you will discover how to align promise with maturity. But before that, I have something special to share with you. So tell me, who's been leading your decisions? Is it fear that paralyzes you, anger that poisons everything, or faith that positions you? Because in the end, it's not how much you know that changes your life. It's what you do with it. And if you've come this far, something inside you already knows. Change isn't optional anymore. It's necessary. What more do you need to take the next step? Will you keep being a prisoner to emotion, even knowing it's been holding back your promises? Or will you rise, mature, and respond like someone carrying something greater inside? The choice is yours. But remember, promises don't land in unstable hearts. Drop a comment below and declare, publicly, what practical step you're committing to today. What area of your life are you finally surrendering? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. And hey, in the top comment, there's something special waiting for you. An ebook that will open your eyes to why so many spiritual people still don't prosper, even when they seem to do everything right. Click it. It's a wake-up call, and you deserve that breakthrough.